Thank you for doing this today. Jesse, it feels like in recent episodes, the Halstead and Upton romance has kind of fallen to the wayside a bit. Are we going to see more of that going forward? And Jason, are we going to see what Voight thinks of that?
I'll answer first.
Oh, go ahead. You go first.
Sure. I was just going to say, yeah, definitely. We have a big cast. There's 9 regulars and a lot of storylines, and it's tough in 42, 43 minutes to service everybody. So just because you're not seeing a certain dynamic play out in one episode, it's because we have a lot of story we have to cover, and I'm sure you'll see it in the next episode of the one after. As for Voight, I don't know.
I think Voight is kind of adapted to kind of a don't ask, don't tell attitude about all this stuff.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Let's go with Keisha.
He kind of has to be, right? It's like one.
We only got 42 minutes. Yeah. I mean, clearly he's jealous. Everybody could see how he feels about Halstead. You have to unmute Keisha.
Here we go.
There you go.
Well, to follow up on that, fans have been noticing a little chemistry between Voight and Deputy Superintendent Miller. So what's going on with that dynamic, and is there potential for some romance there?
Well, probably not traditional romance, but one never knows where Cupid's arrow would land, but I don't think it's necessarily number one on the hit parade with the writer's room, but he, there's a deep respect and a kind of a need, because we need each other to succeed, and so there's a connection there, and there's a trust, and that's a certain kind of romance in a way, although it's not, it's more filial than erotic.
Thank you. Do we only have one question?
Yes, just one question.
Okay.
And then we'll come back around if we can. Hopefully we can. All right, Cody, we'll go to you next.
Hi, how are you guys doing today?
Hey, Cody.
Good.
So in the past, we've really kind of seen Halstead has been willing to push against Voight when he's kind of felt there's been a need there, but we haven't really seen that as much this season. How would you characterize their dynamic and how it's kind of evolved this year?
I think that's a good question. And I'll start off by saying I think you will see more of it, but maybe not in the way that it played out in previous seasons. I think their relationship, and I could be totally talking out of my butt. Jason could go, well, that's not how it is. But I think their relationship's really grown. There's a mutual respect, and Halstead appreciates what kind of cop Voight is. And I think Voight appreciates what kind of cop Jay is. They might not see eye to eye, and Jay might push back at times, which you will see in a episodes coming up, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't totally believe in Voight and trust Voight. He just might be looking at it. In some ways, it's changed in a way where it's like Jay's looking out for Voight's best interests. He wants Voight to be his best, and he wants Voight to succeed. And in the new world, and with progress and everything that's going on in current events, Voight might need to be a different kind of cop to do that, from Jay's perspective, not from Voight's.
But I couldn't have said it better myself. Bottom line, Voight loves and respects Halstead as he is. And as a matter of fact, there's a reason why he has a team. He doesn't want a team of 8 Voights. He needs Halstead to be Halstead. His mantra is the best thing you can be is you. But Voight is who he is. So he does that, and he stands up for it. And sometimes is intractable, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't appreciate, people disagreeing.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Great.
Thank you.
Dana?
Over the 8 seasons that you guys had, I was wondering, was there a particular storyline that has really stuck out for you over the years that you wish that you could revisit?
Revisit?
Ooh. I don't know.
You know what? I got an answer for that.
Tell me.
Can I? My answer is, Dana, I mean, I appreciate the question, but, a character is really just a person. And storylines are things that happen in a person's life. And they become part of who you are. You're accumulation of your experiences. And so they're always there. And, I'm affected by all the things Voight is affected by his past. And there was a full past before you ever even met him. And that's who he was. And I hope that he continues to change. And it's through the events. And so they're always there. His wife, whom we've never met, has always been a big part of who he is and continues to be. It informs his behavior, his decisions, and everything. So I hope that's not a dodge, but that's the answer that I have.
That works. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a dodge at all. I agree with you. My answer is I wouldn't want to revisit anything. I'd say Jason gave a great answer. It's like those are the things you carry with you as the character, and it's what's informing the next thing, and it's that simple, Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. Well, we have time for one more question.
I'm going to ask it.
All right, go.
Go ahead.
Keisha, would you like to ask a question?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So this season, obviously, we're looking at policing in a different way, especially with the introduction of Superintendent Miller. And we're seeing those changes. But I'm wondering if, given the way that the intelligence has policed in the past and sort of bent the rules, is there going to be another reckoning for the crew?
Yeah, I think so. We're trying to change, but like changing a life, and not just Voight, who's kind of the extreme, but we all have, I think any cop, it's not an easy job. These kind of moments where you have to make a decision between, who you're going to be in this moment. And if they were easy, there would be no risk of making mistakes. And, this is a drama show, so there's conflict, and we're all going to be just like all the cops out there.
And to piggyback too, if you're not growing, you're dying. So there has to be growth. So there has to be conflict so that we can grow through it. Otherwise the show would stop. So of course you're going to see those things happen,
Yeah.
And of course there's going to be a reckoning. Yeah.
There's stuff coming up that I think is kind of really, there's a show coming up. Have we showed that show yet that Eric directed? That hasn't been on yet.
Yes.
It just
the
aired.
big one.
Oh,
Yes.
it just aired.
Mhm.
Yeah. I watch them at a different time. But the like that cop made, what was his name? Spicoli.
Mm-hmm.
Michael, what a fantastic actor. But here's a guy doesn't consider himself a racist, all this stuff, and he saw what he saw, but then when he saw the video, he realized he imagined it. And how do you make these decisions in a split second? So it's complicated. It's easy, to judge people, when you look at a moment from the outside, but, we're all whole and complex, and that's what I find interesting, is that, people, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Really
I'm grateful
don't.
that we get to work on a show that gets to approach some of those things the way that we do. If there wasn't going to be a reckoning, or there wasn't going to be a conversation or an episode that had to do with, the things that we see in the news, then what's the point? Then it's just and it's just solely entertainment. We're not changing people at all. We're not, you know,